We've got Ian here to tell us a little bit about what's happening in the world.
Hi, Shana. Thank you so much. Yes, so the first thing I wanted to touch on was kind of a big story that we've been following here for a little while, actually. So after 4 elections and multiple attempts to form coalition governments, within 2 years, Israel finally has a governing body. However, it will not include the long-running politician Benjamin Netanyahu in the prime minister position. He's been consecutively running for 12 years, I believe, in his prime ministership, and he also was prime minister in the late 90s. So he's definitely been in that spot for a long time, but he has now officially been ousted under this new government. According to the new government, well, actually, they were approved in the Israeli Knesset, which is their parliament. They were approved with the thinnest majority vote of 60 to 59, so literally one vote over the threshold, and they finally were able to form a government here. And it's formed by Naftali Bennett of the conservative Yamina Party and Yair Lapid of the centrist Yesh Atid Party, and they took their positions as leaders. Netanyahu handed the prime ministership to Bennett, and the other man, Lapid, will serve as foreign minister, but in about 2 years, he will be handed the prime ministership according to part of the deal that came under this coalition government. Now, due to the diverse nature of the new government, pretty much since there's a combination of both right-leaning, centrist-leaning, left-leaning, and Arab parties, they're not really going to focus on divisive issues such as a uniform response to Palestinian people or a Palestinian state. Because that carries potential to tear the government apart from the inside, and then they won't get anything done. So because of this, the coalition government says that they'll begin focusing on domestic reform and the economy. And even despite Netanyahu being ousted from his position, during a speech, I believe afterwards, after the ceremony of inducting in the new prime minister, he said that he will be back at some point. He said he and his party will be back. So we'll keep an update on that. We're obviously looking into that. It's very groundbreaking, very interesting. And, it's exciting to see Israel have a government, and we'll see where it goes from there, how it carries on. Otherwise, during an oversight hearing held by the House of Representatives Judiciary Committee, the FBI Director Christopher Wray, responded to questions about the influx of immigrants at the U.S. southern border, saying it is, quote, a significant security concern. In this hearing, Representative Tom McClintock kept asking Wray whether or not there were criminals and even terrorist watch list persons who were apprehended at the border. While Wray gave no definitive answer, he would actually defer to CPB for a lot of it. He'd say, I would check with Customs and Border Protection or Department of Homeland Security. He did open the opportunity to share the FBI's data with the panel. And as other representatives asked Christopher Wray about the problems at the border, specifically dealing with trafficking of both drugs and people, Wray said that he said that it is a problem, actually. Another representative, Chip Roy of Texas, pressed further and asked him whether he feels the U.S. has operational control of the southern border. And Roy actually also asks him about the record numbers of encounters and potential getaways, as well as the increased presence of opioids. And the FBI director acknowledged the presence of fentanyl from any part of the world as an epidemic, including the presence of fentanyl coming from the southern border.
Go to FISM.TV/news for more.